Hello and welcome along to another episode of this FM19 story, part of the furniture with me, Daniel. It's season 9, episode 6, and today we play West Ham at home as we look to get back on track after a spell of pretty ordinary form, which leaves us out of the cups and sliding down the league. That's right, since the last episode, West Ham have actually overtaken us in the championship table. They're 2 points above us now, they're chasing a top 2 place, and we're just trying to cling on to 6th. We're just 6 points ahead of that also familiar 13th place now, and if we don't buck our ideas up soon, we could be finding ourselves back in our favourite position. You can see from the team stats below we're still scoring goals for fun, but we're certainly starting to concede at the rate we were at the start of the season, and that's causing some problems for us when we're trying to defend leads. But we've got a few new signings who we hope will help us back on track, so let's go and meet those first. A couple of them you briefly met before when we pre-agreed deals for them, but we've got a couple of others that we've agreed since too who will hopefully help us out. So first is Stuart Leach from Motherwell. He's one of the young centre-halves we'd pre-agreed a deal for. He's got 2-star ability, 5-star potential, he's a left-footed centre-half and he looks a really decent prospect. He's just made one appearance for us so far in the FA Cup, and I can't imagine he'll make too many more this season. We're trying to loan him out for some football, but if he stays here he'll be in a mentoring group and he'll develop off the pitch anyway. The second one is another centre-half, Ross Taylor from Hibs. We met him in the last episode as we pre-agreed a deal. This one set us back slightly more, 85,000 on this occasion, but he's got 14 caps for the Scotland under-21s, and he's 3-star current ability, 5-star potential, a couple of sub-appearances for him, and I'm sure he'll be a good player for us moving forward. Then third on the list as an emergency loan signing, we got Adam Lewis out injured for 4 or 5 weeks, then we loaned out Adam Dillon, and it all came together at once. McCabe was still out injured too, so Courtney Otte, he's on loan from Tottenham Hotspur. Our director of football recommended him, and he is a very good player. We've had a few really big offers for Adam Lewis during this window, and if we get some more on deadline day tomorrow, we may well let him leave, knowing that Otte's here at the club. He's got 3.5-star current ability, 5-star potential, 2-footed and fairly professional. He's pretty much a manager's dream, and although Lewis is a brilliant player for us, if we get offers in the region of 15 million, we'll be sure to let him go. Our highest has been 11 so far, but we've not been able to negotiate and get all of the clauses we want. So certainly a good first team signing there. And then Lee Ramsbottom, he's the final signing we've bought in. Just over £500,000 from Bolton in League 2. Impressed in the FA Cup tie we played. Scored a 1 in 5 for them. He's made 1 start for us in the Championship. And didn't play very well at all in truth. But he's a really good attacking midfielder. 3-star ability, 4-star potential. And allows us to sell Ricky Ash, who's desperate to move for first team football. So a bit of action in the transfer window coming in. We've also loaned out a few lads as well. McGeevers, Aniga and Dillon, all of them were on the fringes of the squad and they've gone out to get some football, with Adam Dillon bringing in some money for us. So that's the transfer news. No more big sales yet, but there could be another one tomorrow if Adam Lewis gets that big offer, but we'll be hoping he doesn't, as he's a really key player for us moving forward. We've got just half a season left to our new stadium. It looks like we're certainly going to be in the Championship, but I'm really disappointed we've fallen away so early with such a horrific run of form. Let's look at those results since the last episode so you can see where it's all gone wrong. In truth, the poor run had already started before the last episode. We were aware we'd had a dodgy December, including that last game of November against Sheffield United. We followed up the Bristol City defeat with a 3-0 defeat at Hull. Lorenzo Gonzalez got a hat-trick for them, and we never looked like getting a result. We nicked a late 1-0 win against Bolton in the FA Cup. Adam Dillon got sent off in that one, and we did really well to nick it at the end. Adam Lewis coming off the bench to be the hero as usual. Then we went away to Bradford in the Championship and nicked a 1-1 draw. Frank Hall with a first half penalty before Jordan Hurst equalised late on. Both wing-backs got injured in that one, both out for at least a month, and as you're aware that's why we bought in Otte. We won 3-0 at home to Millwall in the following game. Richard Quirk scored his first goal for the club after 20 seconds. It was an unbelievable volley at the back post, 15 yards out, hammered it into the roof of the net. McCann and Bobby Duncan got a goal as well, and that one was all but over after 15 15 minutes. However, the poor form returned in the next game, 3 goals away from home, and it still wasn't enough to get a result. We drew 1-1 at home to bottom side Colchester. Richard Quirk assumed penalty taking duties in that one, so that adds another string to his bow as he looks to become a key player for the club. He's been deputising for Nico Williams, and although he's done okay individually, it's cost us a few points, particularly not having our first choice wing backs. And then in the last game it was yet more disappointment, this time at home to Bradford of the Championship. We lost 1-0 in the FA Cup despite playing a strong team. And in truth we were by far the second best side in that game and deserved to be put out of the cup. So we go into this game with plenty of problems, but we'll be hoping to bounce back against West Ham. You saw earlier in the season we performed brilliantly at the London Stadium, but that doesn't mean anything today, as we haven't won a game in 4 weeks. Jaap Stam will be looking to put one over on us. Adam Lewis has just returned but isn't match fit. He's going to be on the bench today though, as he's back to enough fitness to be among the substitutes. The other changes we're going to make to the squad, this is from the FA Cup tie. Ramsbottom was cup tied, but he can come back in now. And Shalabar's back to fitness too. He's back into his central role for Obi. Obi will go onto the bench. He's going to replace Lahan. He's not really recovered from his injury at all. And in fact, we'll take Ross Taylor off the bench and give Lahan there for an extra midfield option. So our starting 11's pretty familiar. We don't have too much wiggle room for flexibility. We've got Alex Bass in goal, Brown, Shalabar and Williams the 3 centre-halves, Richard Quirk at right wing-back, Courtney Otte on the left, McDonald and Disa the 2 in the middle, and then Ian McCann behind Broder and Hall up front as Bobby Duncan's out injured. We've got a couple of young options on the bench as well as the returning Lewis. John Gerrard could be our super sub again as he looks to make an appearance up front. So let's get into the game and see if we can do the double over the Hammers. It's a 4-3-3 for West Ham, a little more defensive than they were earlier in the season if I remember rightly. We're going to encourage the lads though, and hopefully we can cause an upset. We're certainly underdogs for this game, despite being the home side. The way we've fallen away this season really makes me look forward to the new stadium. We're going to be able to compete financially and have a little bigger squad, so when we lose our 2 wing-backs, we're not suddenly out of our depth for a month. McCann's got the ball to Hall early on though. It'd be a great way to return to form. Broder wins a free kick holding it up. We've gone and talked to the lads off camera, told them that they can pick up their form. We said don't worry about it, try and pick your heads up, and hopefully the dynamics will improve as a result and we'll be able to get back to winning ways today. But nearly 10 minutes gone, no real action so far. Fingers crossed we won't start conceding again. It's Hoskins with a throw on the left for Ledson. He finds Chiravella. Back to Garcia. Chiravella again. It's a wayward effort though, and that's the first shot we've seen from West Ham. It's an in-swinging corner at the other end now though. Disa into Williams, blocked by the keeper. Back to Williams again. Brilliant save. Harrison with a double combo there. Both to deny Reece Williams, and it was hacked away for a throw, and it remains goalless as a result. It's West Ham with a throw on the left though. Hoskins and Ledson play a 1-2. Too much time on the edge of the box for Garcia. Goes for the shot but it's wide, but I'm a little concerned about our closing down in midfield there. It's West Ham with a goal kick at the back. They go to the left centre half in more. They're playing out a bit like we do, particularly in our other series with Newcastle, really playing good football from the back. Chiravella in the middle to Molyneux. Hoskins is overlapping at left back. He was their danger man in the last game, despite the fact they were awful on that day. Lairson at right back, trying to get to the byline. Stobbs has got a second opportunity, but he goes short to Lairson again. All the way back to Ledson this time. Hoskins on the left wing. They're just playing the ball about nicely. Molyneux gets the shot away, but Bass makes a smart save down to his right hand side and he keeps a point on the board for us. Otte clears away a hacked clearance. Now it's Lairson on the right hand side. He finds Chiravella. West Ham starting to get on top here and our counter attacks are dwindling. It's West Ham with a free kick at the back. We're seeing highlight after highlight for the away side. They're really getting into it now, and that long ball's over the top and it's gone past everyone. Lairson crosses again though. Quirk doesn't head far enough. Molyneux gets on the rebound and it's another individual error at the back. This time Richard Quirk, the sub wing back. He's a good youngster getting football, but he's cost us a goal there. 5 minutes to the break and it's 1-0 to the away side. Frankel with a free kick at the other end. That was pretty aimless though. I'm not quite sure why we needed to see that. It's a corner and outswinger from Disa. Last kick of the half. Reece Williams heads it wide and it was the last header of the half in fact. We've just had the better of the opportunities, but we're losing 1-0 at the break and it's just because of an individual error, something we've said so many times this year. Let's go and talk to the lads, tell them how we feel about that first half. I'm not too upset, but we'll go with our assistant manager. He wants us to tell them we're disappointed, and they look fired up for the second half. Hopefully that'll show in their performance. I've pretty much decided in other news that we're going to go back to a back four next year. We've been so good going forward this season, but we've really struggled defensively, and it's been the thing that's cost us every year. If you can nick a few 0-0s when you're in poor form like we are at the moment, it could make all the difference between mid-table and the playoffs. So next year will be a back four. We're going to work towards that goal. None of the number 10s have impressed, and unless Ramsbottom does the same, we might not even play with that next year. So at the moment I'm edging towards a 4-4-2, though the way things go, it could become a 4-2-3-1. I guess it depends how many of our strikers we lose. The left back Hoskins has got to throw again. McCann's nicked it high up though. He finds Frank Hall. Not quite the same as Bobby Duncan, is he? And the ball's cleared away. Nearly an hour gone. Chiravella with a cross. Brown heads away, but not too far. More on the right side of the area. Brilliant block, Reece Williams. The commentary copied exactly what I was thinking. Garcia's got the ball 30 yards out though, and West Ham have got a barrage of attacks here. Chiravella into the back post. Dysart wins a free kick as Gale is adjudged to have shoved him. An hour gone. We'll make some subs in a minute as we need to try and get back into this game. Just over 20 minutes to go. Quirk with a throw on the right. This will be the last highlight before we make the subs. Hall's holding the ball up on the 6-yard line, but he has to go back out wide to Quirk. McDonald plays a 1-2. Quirk's delivery isn't great, but McDonald gets it a third time. And now a fourth as McCann's shot's blocked, and he's won a free kick, which hopefully we'll be able to cause some trouble from. There's a few players that haven't had the best games today. Otte, the left wing back's been poor. Adam Lewis can make his return from injury. Frank Hall's not had a good game either. John Gerrard will come on as a pressing forward, hoping to be a super sub yet again. And we're going to replace the man who just won that free kick, Rowan McDonald, with Darren Mapley, just because he's a better passer of the ball, and hopefully he'll be more of a playmaker as we look to create some chances. Chiravella with a cross to the back post though. Brown heads away as far as Gale. We're not really bad defensively as a unit, it's just all these individual errors. And look now, the player's not getting into shape. Low concentration and low marking ability, two stats that have become crucially important for us. Both attributes are low across our defensive team, and they really show with the way we defend some of these attacks. 10 minutes to go. It doesn't look like it's going to be our day, though Lewis with a corner which Williams flicks on. Dysart down for Shalabar. It bobbles in a couple of times later. How many attempts did we want at it? But it doesn't really matter now. We've nicked an equaliser with 10 to go. Now we've just got to hold on to it and not throw it away straight away. Cook with a corner headed away by Quirk. Stevenson shoots from miles out. Bass tips it up in the air. Quirk hacks it away on the rebound. 5 to go. Can we hang on? It's going to be a nervy last few minutes. 2 minutes of stoppage time remaining. Dysart heads away to throw-in. Story's recovered it on the right-hand side though, and Cook brings it forward for West Ham again. Lairson at right back. He finds Stobbs. Cook on the edge of the box. There's no pressure, but he's put it wide at the post. Our midfield really running out of gas late on. You can see Dysart in the mid-60s for condition there. We really need a midfield general next year. That doesn't matter whether we're playing a 4 or a 5 at the back. We need 2 in the middle who are really going to run the game. Dysart shoots from the edge. He's hit the post though. The last kick of the game, he smacked the woodwork, and unfortunately it's 1-1, but a really good performance and much more promising than our recent form. We've got Adam Lewis back from injury as well, so plenty of positive signs today, and overall I'm really pleased with that against a side competing at the top of the league with a significantly bigger budget than us. We'll follow our assistant manager's advice again. We'll passionately tell them we're pleased with their performance. We're proud of the lads. They're competing against sides far bigger than them. And although we've had a bad run, the run we've had is what we're expected to do. Be a lower mid-table side and just competing for mediocrity. We rescue a late draw, but we had more of the chances. We've just got to get clinical in front of goal, which will hopefully return once Duncan's back from injury. Inzaghi's watching us here. Which one is it? Simone Inzaghi. I thought it was going to be the old AC Milan striker, but it's not, unfortunately. It's the Leicester boss who's watching Richard Quirk, who we keep getting £9 or £10 million offers from. So a decent result on a day. It moves us up to 5th in the league. We're level on points with 6th and 7th place though, and just 4 points away now from dropping down to 12th. Hull have got a game in hand in 13th. They could join those sides there, and it looks like we're going to finish in that position again if we continue to slide the way we are. Just 4 points off the automatic places though, so if these signings do work out and we can avoid more injuries in the second half of the year, you never know how our luck and fortunes could turn around. As there's just 2 days till the transfer deadline day on Monday, what we're going to do is skip to the end of that, just to see if we get any big offers for our players. We're not going to do a full running commentary through the day, but we are going to round up any news on the final day of the window. So we'll be back in a moment at the end of deadline day, hopefully with no news of outs, and maybe even a surprise in or two. Okay, we're back for the end of transfer deadline day. It's been a very hard, long day for us, batting off offers for all of our star young prospects, mostly the ones that came for our youth intake. So all day we've been fending off offers for Richard Quirk, rising up to 13.5 million from Burnley, Arsenal and Chelsea. He's in a bit of a strop because we didn't let him go, but he's going to be our first world-class player playing for us in the Premier League, having come fresh from our youth intake. If we look at player wage expenditure in the league, we've been overtaken again. This shows just how well we're doing to be competing. We've got the lowest wage bill in the league. We're still running at a loss because of our tiny stadium, though next season that'll change and hopefully we'll be able to compete at that level there around the sort of Charlton, Bradford and Nottingham Forest region. They're all averaging between 15 and 20,000 through the gate, so if we can sell out our 15,000 seater, that should put us in that sort of region. If we look at the roundup for the transfer window, some very big signings going to Fulham, who are chasing promotion, and Derby, who are right up there as well. Stoke have bought in a lot of players. Then the roundup of the whole of the English transfer window. Harry Kane, who's got to be getting on now. At 33, he's gone to Man City for £50 million. Renato Sanchez from City to Barcelona. Sergio Gomez from Milan to United. Plenty of money going around there. Manchester United still have their financial power, we see. There is some potential transfer news for players coming in. Our director of football, Slavisa Jokanovic, he's made an offer for this young goalkeeper, Malcolm Biggs, on a free agent deal, having left Wolves recently on a free. That could be an interesting signing for us. You'll see in a minute the reason he's been trying to sign someone. We've got 2 other youngsters who are joining in the summer, but we'll introduce those when they join the club. Leave a little bit of suspense for those ones. They're going to be 2 of our first signings. Before the season, we attack promotion in our new stadium, so we want to meet them all as they come in, rather than getting little introductions now. If we look at the outs, there's a couple of loanees possibly going to Truro. They're our affiliate club, and you can see all of the players we've rejected offers for, and some of the others we've accepted. Robson Brown nearly went. He was getting offers from Reading and Middlesbrough. We were trying to get them up to 5 million with our favourite sell-on clause, but none of them would go past 4, so he'll stay here until the summer. The fact that he's wanting for that money, though, shows that our defence can't be that bad individually. If we look at our transfer history, no ins to speak about, but there were a couple more outs. Eamon McCabe's gone out on loan to Notts County. We're getting a little bit of money and all of his wages paid. That's just because we've got Otte on loan and Adam Lewis ended up staying. Our young sub-keeper Andy Walsh has gone on loan to Wickham. He joins Lee Turner, our right winger, who went there in the summer at the start of the season. So hopefully they'll do well there. And then Ricky Asher's gone to QPR. They're paying his wage, but we're not bringing in any money. So an interesting deadline day. We've not really strengthened as much as we'd like, but I'm hoping we'll be able to keep a continuity in the squad. We've got rid of 1 or 2 of the unhappy eggs, and hopefully that will serve us well. But as you've seen, with the budget we're on, we're performing miracles to be where we are, and we've got to overall take it a little bit easy on the lads, as they've really been fighting hard to be up there. We've got a 6-point gap back to 13th place, but it doesn't look like we'll finish much lower than that, and perhaps most importantly, there's a 22-point gap to QPR, who occupy the top relegation spot. So we're doing really well in that sense. We're definitely going to be in this league next year, and then once we move into our new stadium, we know that anything's possible. We'll have a new tactic and formation then as well, so plenty of stuff to look forward to. We've got 2 more things to look at before we get to the end of the season though. One is our youth intake in early March, and the other one's the end of the season to see where we end up in the league. Obviously we're in 5th in the moment. If we end up getting embroiled in a playoff battle, we'll show you an extra episode, but I'm just planning to do the 2 more for the rest of this year. Let's have a look at what games we've got at the important times. So the start of March, we've got Charlton, Reading and Stoke. Let's see which one of those looks most appealing. Charlton are in 9th place, Reading 11th and Stoke up in 6th. So all of them could be crackers. We'll just come back for the one after the youth intake. And then after that, our final game of the season is Cardiff away. They're right up there as well, I think. They're in 8th place, so they could be 2 really important episodes. And as I said, we can drag it out into 3 if we end up embroiled in a playoff battle. But that will be all for this episode. If you did enjoy it, please put a thumbs up on the video as always. I really do appreciate it. Let me know in the comments what you think of our January work, forgetting about our form, just the transfer window in general. I know we haven't made any huge signings, just the one for £500,000, but a couple of good little loan deals, and we've let a few of the bad apples go too. So we haven't lost any big names, and that's surely a good thing. The longer we keep the likes of Quirk and Gerrard, the better chance they've got of succeeding and taking us into the Premier League. Subscribe to the channel for daily FM19 content from my 2 long-term stories, this one with Torquay, and then our other series, The Head Coach, where we're a journeyman working under a director of football with no say in transfer staffing or contracts. Also, keep your eye out on the channel on Fridays over the next couple of months. We'll have some content from some new sports games coming out. I'm really looking forward to trying them. So if you are a fan of other sports games, then do pop along and check those out, as they'll be filling our Friday content for the spring and summer months. But a massive thanks for watching and your continued support with the series as always. And we'll see you next time for what I hope will be another magical youth intake as we look to revive our dwindling playoff push.